Oh! Just muted my notebook's volume right before we went live. Would you imagine that?
Impressive.
Very. Welcome everybody to this Friday's live stream. As always, I am Joe.
And I am Sean.
The real Sean this time.
Oh my, not a piece of paper taped to a man's face.
I mean, the taping to a man's face was the more, that was the comedic value for me. You couldn't really tell. The picture was printed so poorly with the colored printer. I'm like, man, this is going to look janky, but far back in camera, it worked.
It actually didn't look half bad. Yeah, no, it looked decent.
Really well. I thought about cutting holes in your eyes, but I felt that would have been a little too creepy.
Yeah, that would have been like one of those weird Scooby-Doo pictures that follows you.
Oh! So we're going to start out the live stream with some kind of sad news, in my opinion. And I'm going to knock over my microphone in the process. ASUS's CEO has jumped ship. He has moved on to greener and brighter pastures. No, not really. He just didn't agree with the creative direction of their mobile portion of the business. It turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that he is going to start his own startup with an AI-centric Internet of Things company.
And so by mobile, are you referring to like their notebooks or more of their like cell phone?
Smartphones.
Okay.
They did not agree in the direction of their smartphones and where they were going. They are going to start focusing on power users and quote-unquote gamers.
So, I mean, this kind of, the iFast company that he's going to run, I kind of get the impression they have the idea that it'll turn into an almost, fit into the same niche that BlackBerry used to fit into, is kind of what it looks like to me.
See, I have a feeling they're going to try and go for phones that are just so insanely packed with high-end hardware for what a mobile phone should have nowadays based on standard, that it's going to make them super expensive. It's going to absolutely be a niche market, and for that reason, I can understand why the CEO stepped down. And that's just, at that point, you're looking to create a trend and create a need rather than follow it, and there's always huge risk there, and there's only a few companies that can do that, i.e. Intel, for example.
Yep.
So really just got to see how that's going to pan out. I am curious because that would kind of interest me as far as the kind of smartphone user I am. I don't really opt for the mobility of it in terms of form factor. I don't opt for really battery life a whole lot because they all suck. They're power hogs to begin with. I don't even go for like security features. If I could get a phone that I could like game with, and then maybe Asus were to like partner with NVIDIA and have some sort of proprietary Shield app on it, and then I could use like game stream at home on my phone or like remotely, that would be really cool.
Well, yeah, I mean that something that does need to be said is kind of the gaming aspect or mobile gaming. Feels like it's kind of gone by the wayside a little bit more. Not in terms necessarily of volume, because obviously you have a bunch of apps and everything's going, you know, Flappy Bird and all that fun stuff.
Flappy Bird.
But in terms of actual full
Flappy Bird
games in a mobile setting, because I mean, back when we were young, it was Game Boys and stuff like that. You had like Pokemon, you had these full Final Fantasy style games. Nowadays, it's all like Clash of Clans. I wonder if that maybe is what they're trying to get back to, is getting back to like the PSP initial DS era.
Oh yeah, and I mean, but right now the Nintendo Switch is dominating mobile gaming like more than anybody. Because I always forget that the Switch is not a mobile gaming system. It is a home entertainment system made to be mobile. It was never designed to be like mobile, like a DS is, or a 3DS rather. So if Asus can pull off making people forget that it's a mobile device based on the kind of capability that it could have, then hats off to them, and they've done a good job. Otherwise, they're probably going to have a lot of paperweights.
Most likely.
But speaking of which, they are doing something different with the way that they're structuring the company, at least as far as it goes with their chief executive officers, keyword officers, 2 people. They're going to be co-CEOs, which is interesting to me. One of them basically is been proven to create products that people actually want, and another has been proven to be able to like manage inventory and figure out what they need to make sure allocation issues aren't a problem. So
almost like a front end, back end.
Yeah. So one's a creative and the other is logistics. So, and their thought process behind that, as far as I read in the article that we linked, it's so that you don't really have a whole lot of internal competition for the same position. It's like, hey, you're both CEOs, so you have motivation to make it work between the 2 of you. So moving forward, if you wait about a year or 2 after the previous CEO's actions have already been put into play, we'll see how that works out for Asus. Asus is like a leading manufacturer of all things right now as it relates to like custom PC building.
Oh, just about everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to know fairly quickly how it pans out for them, because their competition is going to quickly beat them in really any race that you could consider relevant.
Very true.
As far as that goes. I like Asus too. What do you think? Do you like?
Yeah,
Asus
no, I like Asus. They're not. I don't think they're my favorite in any specific piece. Maybe motherboards. I like their boards a lot. Their cards I consider some of the best, but I have other brands that I tend to prefer.
What brands?
EVGA and tends to be my go-to for cards.
For graphics cards.
With the 2080 series, honestly, MSI's put out some good offerings that I like. But Asus always is in the running, which does definitely need to be said. And as far as like their BIOS goes and just working with their boards, I tend to prefer them because I just like the way they have things set up.
BIOS.
Yeah, so I like Asus. I don't think they're like the top company of everything, but they're in the conversation for just about every component, which is impressive.
I like how you call them Asus. Some people call them Asus.
Yeah, some people spell it Asus with all caps. Some do capital A. It's
Asus.
Yeah, who knows?
Asus. Hey, Asus. You guys use them Asus boards?
Yeah, down there, and pretty good, reliable.
You got that Thermalike case? I like Thermalike. Or Silver Tone's good
Fractoral.
Too. Silver Tone's good too. I like me some Silver Tone. How about you?
Big fan of Evga and
Nvidia. Nvidia. Here you go, the Nvidia card. Yes, the Nvidia. Nvidia card. Speaking of Nvidia, Sean.
Yeah, speaking of Nvidia, so there is a multinational holding conglomerate, which is a fancy way of saying a company that owns a bunch of other companies and
what the hell
stakes
is that?
in other companies. Well, to kind of give you an idea, this
conglomerate, soft.
This conglomerate is called SoftBank. As examples of what they're involved in, they have major stakes, meaning like 5-10% in
medium rare,
Sprint, Uber, Alibaba, and a bunch of other pretty big companies that you've heard of. They're also the main. They own Boston Dynamics. If you ever watch YouTube, how they have like the cool dog robot that they try and kick over. You ever see those videos?
The dog bot.
They own the major shares in that too. So why this is important is they're a pretty big holder of stocks and everything like that, and they're looking at dumping their NVIDIA stock.
Why?
Why? There's quite a few different reasons. First off, this is NVIDIA's largest single shareholder, which is why it's significant. One reason is a lot of NVIDIA's current revenue comes from China, about 20%, which was fine, but now with the current political climate, that is being called into question a little bit more with tariffs and all that kind of fun stuff. The fact that RTX is expensive and hasn't really been utilized super well yet, really hasn't, in terms of, like,
never would have guessed.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew putting your cards out being more expensive with tech that nobody's using yet may hurt you?
I never would. No.
And with the crypto mining boom that happened last year, they had no cards available. They overproduced, then tried to burn off stock, which didn't really work out super well for them. So in terms of numbers, their share price has gone down from about 290 down to about 150, which is most likely why they're looking at jumping ship. So the sale hasn't been finalized as far as SoftBank is considering with NVIDIA, but that is the way it's moving. So I'm curious to see how NVIDIA is going to react to this in the next about year or two.
They're probably not going to care at all, really.
Their largest shareholder jumping ship could be seen, that may be an indicator of other people doing the same.
I think NVIDIA is going to be okay considering the amount of foothold they have in other markets.
Oh, I don't think they're going to go bankrupt or anything, but I do think this might shake them up a touch.
I'm not saying they're going to go bankrupt, but I'm also saying they're not going to publicly show that they're worried about it. I don't think they would, regardless of whatever the situation would be, but they have plenty of options, especially with their focus on automotive that they've had for like the past 6 years. I think they're going to be okay. Really, the RTX cards and the way that those pan out within the next year is going to be, I think, a major deciding point for them, in my opinion. I
think between that and, honestly, I think part of it's in AMD's wheelhouse right now. If AMD comes out with graphics cards that hit good points, I think that has the potential to either kind of make this go away for NVIDIA and not be a problem, or become a real problem depending on AMD's offerings.
To me, it almost feels like AMD doesn't even care about desktop graphics anymore. It's all mobile and APUs, right?
I could see that,
but a lot more exciting products out that are like mobile and mini and low power. Vega, for example.
But was that just because Vega on desktop sucked?
No, I really think AMD came out with Threadripper when they actually gave a shit, and look at what ended up happening. So now we have, if they were to do the same thing with graphics cards, which I really think they could do, they would give NVIDIA more competition. I think they're doing the smart thing, and they're going after markets that Intel or NVIDIA have not saturated yet before they can saturate it, and that's going to be like their major money makers. I think it's going to take a huge company like Intel to go up against NVIDIA for us to start to see some real competition happening.
So you don't think you think Intel would be competing with NVIDIA on graphics cards before AMD would?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
At this point, AMD's time has come and gone. I mean, it was gone when Radeon was a separate company from AMD, and it was just Radeon. It was probably about a good year or two when AMD bought Radeon, I think, when their sales were diving, and they just couldn't compete anymore.
See, I think the next AMD graphics card generation will kind of put me to one side or the other, because, Vega was kind of a dud. I think if they come out with a good one, the next iteration they come out with, I think they have a chance to get back in the game. But I think if the next one's not good, their desktop market's not going to recover very well.
I don't think so. I hope it does.
Yeah, I think they have one more shot. How's that?
Yeah, they're on borrowed time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you better hurry up, AMD.
Their CPUs are fantastic.
Right. Speaking of fantastic, AData may have actually come out with a product that matters. Trying to be polite about it, but I can't think of the last thing AData came out with something, and I was like, ooh! So they have this UE700 Pro USB flash drive from capacities from 32 gigs to 256. Think of these as the kind of USB to-go drives that have been coming out for the past 5 years or so. Read and write speeds between 180 to 360 megs per second. That is insanely fast.
Yes.
I have a Kingston drive that will do like 250. That's 3.0 based, and it's pretty neat. This is something that I feel would be incredibly useful for system integrators like us. Then you don't have to dedicate whole USB flash drives just to do like Windows Live installations and stuff. You have USB thumb drives. Hi, Maureen. Thanks for joining.
Hello.
So That's kind of where I see them being useful. If not, I would own one of these just for the hell of it. Because
Just for funsies.
Because it's a fast drive. They did not release pricing yet, though.
Yeah, and it is going to be USB-C. That's pretty cool.
It is cool, but it's never good when you don't get pricing information on a product yet.
Ask the manager.
I want to speak to the manager. Yes. I legit used to do that when I worked retail. Or I'd have like my badge, right?
Yeah.
And it would be flipped the other way around where it didn't show like my position. It would just have my name, and I'd get people like, I want to speak to your manager. Okay, one sec. Just turn around, mess my hair up, flip the badge over. How can I help you? The look on customers' faces made it worth working at a video store.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Just you're talking to him.
Yeah, like, I am the manager. I want to speak to the owner. He's not here and will never
He
be
lives in
here.
Florida and doesn't care.
Right. He's over in corporate, just sitting in his office, trying to laugh his way to the bank because he feels like companies such as Netflix would never put his business at risk. And, well, when's the last Blockbuster or Hollywood video you saw sitting in a corner?
I mean, hey, man, there is still a Family Video right down the road from where I live now, and there's like 4 or 5 in my hometown. I don't know why.
I told you why Family Videos are still in business.
Oh, that's right.
It's because they got that back room with all those colored beads covering the entranceway so you don't see what's inside that back room.
Man.
The same back room that, kids everywhere would go into the video store and then wonder, where did Daddy go? And then Daddy would magically appear. Hey, did you pick out a video game? Cool. I want to get home quickly because dinner's going to be on the table.
If that's the case, man, it shouldn't be called Family Video. That's putting out the wrong message, man.
What's up, M&M Smuggler? Welcome back.
M&M Smuggler.
Yeah. Last week I thought it was Smuggler. And he was like, no, M&M, like the rapper. I was like,
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I didn't notice that last time, and I felt like a horse's patoot.
A horse's patoot.
That's right. Trying to be semi-appropriate, even though I'm not always, so it's a complete double standard. But
I mean, hey, an effort's being made, and isn't that what's important?
C for effort.
Well, and as we're talking about effort, so Intel has been, as I'm sure you guys remember us talking about, have been having issues with, we'll just say their processes. So earlier this year, they had the H310 motherboards that they put out. What the was it H310N? What was the version that they put out? Essentially, what they did is for the chipset, they took it from a 14 nanometer process back to a 22.
Which is okay with me as long as the features are there.
As long as the features are there, that's fine. Now, essentially, why we think Intel's been doing this, and they did it again with B360's been now replaced with B365. Again, it's the same 14 nanometer to 22 nanometer switch.
Is there a B52 board? Can you go to the Love Shack to purchase one?
Love Shack, baby. All right.
One more time?
No. You got one. Everybody gets one.
You sound like you're well on your way to becoming a rock lobster. I quit. I'm done. That's it.
No.
See you later.
All right.
That's great.
Time for the Sean stream. So realistically what they're doing is because they're having issues with their 14 nanometer process, they're taking some of their lower end boards, bumping them back down to 22 so that they can help keep production up. What this may point to is that they're just doing this temporarily, or perhaps we're going to see the business edition boards. So this is going back even back to the Z170, H170 era, and B150. They're kind of breaking those out a little bit more just by switching out the chipsets. That's most likely due to manufacturing concerns, but who knows? This may indicate that they're going to continue to break their product lines out a little bit further, because that is what we've seen Intel do a lot.
Why?
It's because with having broken out Xeon, the i9s and the i7s, and all a bunch of different chipsets and all a bunch of different feature sets and locking ECC to a specific chip.
Why?
They're breaking things out.
I'm just doing what my daughter does. Why is the sky blue? Well, because it's the reflection of the ocean. Why? Well, because, things create reflections, and when that happens, why? I don't like you. Why? For your own doing. Why? Stop it.
That's how Jesus wants it.
Everybody warned me that when kids get older, that the question age starts to happen, where they question everything. And nobody said that it was relentless. Like, I thought it would stop within reason, that once you explain, here's how things are. Oh, okay. Eventually the whys go away, but just why? 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 Casey does a really good job at pointing out what she's doing, just to like pester. Just cut it out. Stop it. So thanks.
But so what was interesting, you brought this up a little bit earlier.
Good. I'm glad it made you feel uncomfortable, Weasley, because I'll do it again.
The B365 does have some features that the B360 did not, and it also loses some features that the B360 did. So that was kind of what you were alluding to earlier, where as long as they keep, the process doesn't matter that much as long as the features are the same.
Correct.
B365 on the plus side adds in more PCIe lanes.
Which is a really good feature.
Yeah, which is fantastic. But it loses integrated wireless and USB 3.1 support, which... Is that a huge, huge deal?
No.
No.
Not at all. Because wireless is not for everybody.
Correct.
Nobody. It's great that the new Z390 chipset has, like, wireless is supported regardless of what board you use. So almost every board has it. But it's just not necessary.
Yeah.
And Bart said that we should bring Kyle in front of the camera because the live chat is stuck again. I don't quite know how to interpret that. Do you mean stuck as in, like, it needs more material?
Yeah, here, let's see.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll get it fixed.
Wait, but if the live chat, the live chat. Wow, I read live chat and thought it was live stream. I mean, I can. Do you want me to bring Kyle in front of the camera? Do you have questions, Bart? Like, tell us if you have questions. I will bring Kyle in front of the camera. I am not above that. I'll go get him even. Tell me what your problem is, and if it's something that you can answer, that Kyle can answer within like a couple of sentences, I'll go get him. Sean's a big boy.
Oh yeah, I can move.
Yeah. I'm serious. Like, let's help you out, man. You shouldn't have to wait. This isn't McDonald's. You don't have to wait 7 minutes for a single Egg McMuffin only for them to give you just the egg and no ham or cheese.
Do you want fries with that, though?
No, because they're going to forget that, too.
Fair.
No, legit. So Casey picked up dinner for us on the way home the other day, and it was a very simple order: Egg McMuffin, plain double cheeseburger, 2 fries.
An Egg McMuffin for dinner with fries?
Dude, Casey loves Egg McMuffins. She gets it.
Hey, you do you.
And we get to a point now to where it's like, we'll check to make sure that the items are in the bag, but we don't check the items. They gave her an Egg McMuffin with just an egg in it, and I had a single cheeseburger with 2 pieces of cheese. So the person that made my burger knew that it needed 2 pieces of cheese for 2 patties, but only gave me 1. It was great. Live chat is back on. Please get Kyle on the show. He deserves it. Okay, so now you just want to see Kyle. Now it's not about him answering your questions. You just want to see us. You just want to see what he looks like?
We could have him walk behind us like just a Sasquatch setting.
Get Kyle. All right.
Okay, alrighty. Well, hey. While Joe's running to grab that, we're going to skip ahead a touch, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Bloomberg Big Hack article. Now, the Bloomberg Big Hack article came out a couple months ago, and essentially Bloomberg is a business publication, and they put out claims that Supermicro's motherboards were not reliable and were actually being had hardware pieces on them that were not supposed to be there. So that was causing security concerns, and they came out and they did a big kind of blast, and it raised a lot of people's hackles, specifically in manufacturers. However, what was interesting is that now, so Supermicro, when they saw that this happened, they did the right thing, and that's they invited an independent firm in, so a third party who has no horse in the race, essentially, to verify whether or not the hack did occur or whether this was the case. It wasn't. What's interesting is that not only did Supermicro's independent firm investigate the claims and find them to be worthless, so did Apple and Amazon. Oh!
Here we are, Bart.
Oh man, you're making him come in here wearing like the worst hoodie ever. Oh, it's terrible.
You can just sit in my chair.
Oh, good. I'm taking Joe's spot. Just sit in my chair. I'm your new co-host.
Oh my. Yeah, here goes the stream.
I blame Bart for this. Is he on here right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bart is, well, he's on, I think, Facebook? Facebook.
Bart has a question.
What's Bart's question?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell us.
He's looking for an update on his order, which I can't give him right now because I'm here. He's on live chat right now.
Okay. Well, at least say hi to him.
Hey, Bart.
Because he's like, bring him on anyways. Bring him. So.
Awesome. Here I am, always stuck behind the phone and on live chat.
Yeah, with that wonderful.
The headset right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should have taken that off. There he is.
There you are.
Don't need a close
Look
up.
at that. Oh, it's the.
Which one?
Oh yeah,
The
right
red
there.
one?
Yeah, just stare creepily at all of our audience, just dead-eyed.
That's what you
Hey,
brought me in here
how you
for.
doing?
Every
There you go. There you go.
we
Stare
go.
at it and just wink slowly. There it is. There it is.
All right.
There goes the show. Yeah, it's gone.
We still
Bye.
winking.
Good Lord, man.
All right. I'm going to get back. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bart's looking for an update.
Yeah, get back to live chat. Get back to your sale.
Don't make me get the hose.
Yeah, Martha.
Hello. So there you go, Bart. I hope you enjoyed looking at his ugly mug. I would say that to his face too, so I'm not trying to be two-faced. But using Facebook in 2018. Egg McMuffins. Hi, Wes. I'm reading all the comments.
Audience just went up with a Kyle live appearance. Yeah. I didn't believe that.
I mean, the numbers actually did kind of go
The numbers
up.
did. All right, so that's what we'll do is we'll just have to have him come on in the background. Can we get a cardboard cutout of Kyle?
We can. And apparently I'm going to get swapped out with Kyle, so I guess I'll just stand in the corner with a lampshade on my head.
I mean, hey, that's a guy that knows how to party.
Every now and then I'll just adjust my pants. And then that's about it. That's all you're going to get out of me. So are you still talking about B365 boards?
No, actually, while you ran off, we were talking a little bit about the blig, the big hack article that Bloomberg put out.
Yeah.
Which was nonsense. So essentially, Apple, Supermicro, and Amazon have all refuted Bloomberg's claims that Supermicro boards were on a hardware level compromised.
Do you ever think anybody would admit to that unless there was hard evidence?
Well, here's the thing. So they had an independent firm investigate the claims, and Apple and Amazon, who both use a lot of Supermicro products, were like, nah, it's nonsense.
Really?
So, yeah, so which
Maybe
is
they're in on
interesting.
it.
What's even more interesting is that Bloomberg is like, no, we were right, and then they left it at that. So,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's no, we were right.
So just why
here's
why I'm bringing this
why.
up is A, it's funny that a business publication came out with a tech article that was completely inaccurate. And not only that they doubled down on it. So that is kind of something interesting I wanted to bring up. The good news, though, is despite all of the security concerns that we've been getting this year, it seems like between GPUs, CPUs, Spectre meltdown, all that fun stuff, this one was just kind of a false alarm, which, considering how the rest of the year's been going, is kind of lucky. So
It's interesting that you bring up the independent party doing the research. I watched a video yesterday of Google execs getting hammered by Congress, and one of the guys was like, "Hey, so all the people that you've had doing your audits to make sure that your searches are not biased, would you be open to a third-party independent company doing the study?" And the Google execs like, "Well, that's who's been doing it, third-party independent." And they're like, "Yeah, but you're choosing them." He's like, "No, studies have been done from independent." He's like, "Yeah, but you're choosing them." And he's like, "No, no."
I mean,
no matter how much he answered Congress's question, they were like,
there was I
No.
forget if it was a congressman or a senator, literally held up an iPhone and started asking Google about it.
"Yeah, does Google? No, maybe it was an iPhone. That was a separate one.
It was specifically an iPhone.
Interesting.
Asking the wrong company. The level of just ineptitude of understanding anything was amazing.
Here's kind of the thing, though, and this is something that kind of makes me think a little bit outside of the box. Is you see those videos where they talk about Congress not knowing what the internet is, right?
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is I kind of understand some of these congressmen's and congresswomen's questions. One guy asked, does Google know my location? And he should have specified a little bit better. Does Google have the ability to know my location whether I opt in or not? That is the question, because that's a simple yes or no answer that, if lied about, could be found, and then they could be held accountable. Instead,
Right.
Does Google know my location? And the guy's response was, Well, it depends on the services that you opt in or opt out. By default, no. If you opt in for a service where we can track your location, then yes, we do. And the guy's like, no, simple yes or no. Do you know my location? And he holds up his phone and he's like, do you know my location? If I get up and sit by that woman over there, does Google have record that I did that? Well, I need to look at your phone. Answer the question, yes or no. Well, sir, I need to see what you've opted into. So you can't even answer your own question about your own services. I'm like, man, I'm just looking forward to the day and time when Congress, our government, is filled with people of our generation to where like that stuff
Yeah, but
doesn't
then
really exist.
there's probably going to be more tech that our generation doesn't understand.
Our learning curve, right. Joe for Congress. Right. That's the last place where I want to be, man. Especially after watching House of Cards. I don't know if you watch House of Cards, if you have ever. It's pointless.
No.
House of Cards, it's like, watch that campaign video on YouTube. For anybody watching, look for a campaign video. It's a satire, essentially, called Phil Goldbright. Phil Goldbright run for Congress. And he basically is like, you know, in order for me to get elected into Congress, I need to keep these people happy. And if any of these things that these people that I need to keep happy are against the things that I promised you in order to get in office, well, my hands are tied. He's like, if you want to vote, if you want a spineless mouthpiece for interest in lobbyists, or you can vote for me, that's a spineless mouthpiece for interest in lobbyists. It's like, doesn't matter who you vote for, it's the same problems. Because everybody, you know, money makes the world go round. Everybody's motivation is run by money and the people that fund it. The only way to have a truly free government in that regard is that if it's like, that's impossible.
Down with the bourgeoisie?
I guess, yeah. I suppose. But anyways,
I'd be curious to see before they
Mundy Cassley 2020.
I'd like to see. I would just like to see.
I'll be the Cheney to his Bush.
We don't need to. Oh, jeez.
Whoa, hey.
Try not to shoot a lawyer there, bruh.
I mean, I can't make
I'd
any
almost like to
promises.
see just like a quick 10-question pop quiz given to each senator right before they ask these questions. And if they score below like a 5 out of 10, they can't talk.
I'm going to have to look into West Wing.
I'd love that. West Wing's great.
Last minute push to restore net neutrality stymied by Democrats flush with telecom cash.
Oh, yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, they're all... Ugh.
They're all yuck. They're all yucky. I don't like them. Go away from me. You don't understand the internet. One thing I don't understand, I'm going to segue into a topic like a cheese ball. I don't understand why more board manufacturers do not create such a beautiful board, such as the one that Gigabyte has created, known as the Water Force. This thing is B-E-A-U. It has a monoblock already installed, and it's RGB'd like unicorns. Just look at this thing, man.
Yeah,
look
no,
at
it's that.
Oh my God!
That looks cool.
The downside is it comes with a monoblock.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing. The positive is monoblock's pre-installed. What are the bad things? A monoblock's pre-installed.
Yeah, you need to do an open loop.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you don't even really need to, especially with a lot of closed-loop coolers now giving you the option to pull from the block.
Oh, yeah, like doing some of the fractals.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. And we have some pretty neat products in store for 2019 that are going to help accommodate a board like this very easily. You'll want to tune into our participation at CES and the news to follow. Just a heads up.
Gigabyte's bird logo is dumb, though. Man, you're not wrong, but
It's
like...
the OS! A-dubs, it's the OS!
Asus has a screwed up eye that looks like a wannabe like Egyptian hieroglyph. Like, I'm not...
It's the OS, bird!
They're all kind of dumb.
Mock. Yeah. Bird. Yeah. Orus. Yeah. No? Okay. I tried. Holy Bart.
From Bart's live chat. Nice job. You raised the audience number to 9. No, it's down to 6. Oh, come on. Guys, you run it away when Kyle leaves. We definitely need a cardboard cut out of him.
Yeah, Kyle.
Absolutely.
Kyle left. What can I say? He's got people to please. Computers to build. That's what he signed up for. It looks like the number dropped down. It was a few people that like I went to
Actually, you're talking about this
school with that popped in. Like, what's Joe up to? Same old stuff. Bye. I'm okay with it.
Bringing up that monoblock, I kind of want to touch real quick if we want to jump ahead
You
down.
want to touch the monoblock? I don't think the monoblock would appreciate you touching it, Sean.
Did you see?
Especially without its express permission.
Oh, I might have left it off of here. Did you see that Corsair is coming out with? They are coming out with dummy DIMMs.
Yeah.
Why?
You know, Gigabyte did it first.
Really?
Do you know what the response to it is?
That's dumb.
So, when you plug in a 2-kit RGB
Well, here,
set
real
of memory
quick, let's
into a
explain
board,
this.
you don't have empty DIMM slots. So you can take the dummy RGBs and you have a full set of DIMM slots with RGBs even if you're only using 2 sticks.
Yeah, so what they're doing
It's
is
more
they're
appealing.
taking... So say most motherboards have between 4 and 8 memory slots on them, and most memory kits are between like 2 and 4. Tends to be the most average. So you're going to have empty slots, and with the RGB craze of the last, 2-3 years, we need a new product. So Corsairs and apparently Gigabyte are putting out, literally, they look like memory sticks, but they have no capacity to do anything except for have pretty lights so that you can fill in all of your... You could fill in all your DIMM slots. They're like $40 a pop.
I know, and well, that's absurd. $20, okay. 40 to fill in your gaps? No, thank you.
Well, that 40 might be for 2. I would have to check, but
It
why?
It probably absolutely is for 2, but that's still unreasonable in my opinion because you know it costs them significantly less to manufacture dead DIMM slot or dead DIMMs. Anyway,
I mean,
it's a niche product,
yeah,
and if they're making it, it's probably because they've received enough feedback from users. Like, man, like I love your memory, but like RGB looks stupid when you just have empty DIMMs. Asus was actually the first to create like slot covers for things. Did you know that? With their Sabertooth board, PCI Express slot covers, they had DIMM slot, like dummy DIMM sticks that were plastic inserts, right?
Yeah, and I think
SATA, USB.
Is Tyan doing that? It's either Tyan or Intel servers that they
wanna
come
say Tyan.
populated with.
A $40 package with 2 mock RAM
Yeah,
sticks,
$40
these 10
for
addressable RGB
2.
LEDs each.
That's just goofy.
Goofy.
Yeah, like why? I mean,
I agree,
You do
A-dubs.
you do you, but
I agree, A-dubs, by the way. I like the ROG logo.
yeah,
Do not care for their VRM solution, though.
yeah.
It's very bulky. It makes it difficult to use in tight spaces with closed-loop coolers. Yeah. It's great because it seems like... It's not so great, actually. I should correct myself. A lot of the designs that you see board manufacturers doing now, it's all fluff. They're all fluffers for the boards because they completely kill form and function.
Yep.
They make it impossible for you to use those boards in some cases with certain cooling solutions, and it makes no sense at all. It would have been great, though, if people would have been given a heads up on that. Yeah. Kind of like how when Intel first came out with X58, and you notice that there's 4 DIMMs on each side of the CPU, and we're like, what are you doing here, Intel? They're like, hey, it's a new solution. You have 4-channel for 3-channel memory. It's great. Oh, and by the way, we recommend liquid cooling. And we're like, why? Great performance, until we get the boards and start using with air coolers and realize, oh, because no air coolers use it when you install memory. Okay.
Yeah, Intel's been weirdly pushing like the liquid cool everything. I feel like for like a long time.
Mark my words,
Not a whole lot.
liquid cooling will become a standard.
Oh no, it definitely. I mean, it's already pretty close with AIOs.
Yeah, and it's going to force people to consider a different method of cooling other than liquid cooling. That again is going to start with like there being an underground following and people and modders doing it, and then some manufacturer's going to come out with like a look phase change cooler.
I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see if either Intel or AMD is ever going to put out a stock cooler. I mean, Intel stock coolers kind of suck, but AMD's are decent. I'm curious to see if they're ever going to put out, like if you buy the 4700X or whatever, a couple years down the road, if they're going to ship it with like an AIO as the cooling solution rather than air.
You cute boy. Intel's already done that.
If they'll
with
do
the
it.
exact chips that I talked about.
With X58?
Yeah.
Was it any good?
It was an Asetek pump, Asetek cooler, and it was great. And then Asetek started getting Sue happy with Cooler Master. So they were like, oh, never mind.
Fair.
That stopped. Because it was based off of Asetek's pump design, and Cooler Master did not have the rights for it. Which this is all public knowledge. I'm not.
Yeah, actually, I think Cooler Master, they won a patent fight with Asetek just last year, I think.
LN2 all-in-one incoming! Half horsepower chiller included with every KSQ. Turn your PC into a fridge with our KSQs. Bum, 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 bum.
The Internet of Things.
I mean, that was a thing back in the day before liquid cooling was a thing, and even before mineral oil was kind of a fad for a bit. You could essentially turn your PC into a fridge using like an integrated unit. It was a major pain in the ass, and then you had to deal with condensation when you turned your PC off. But fish tank PCs, yeah, one of our competitors made fish tank PCs, and then people started doing it until they realized that the moment you dunk all your components in that fish tank, warranty void.
Yep.
So it was more of like a conversational piece. It's one of those things that you could do with a really cheap PC and not care about the warranty.
Yeah, it was a really cool DIY project. They would use Lee and Lee motherboard plate in an actual fish tank.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
It is really neat.
Yeah.
Really, really neat.
Nifty.
But also not so neat when you start pulling components out and everything's a mess.
Well, yeah, trying to clean oil off of things just to...
I would have just pulled it out of the mineral oil and then dropped it in like deep fat frying oil and then just fried the sound card and been like, can I return this? I think something's wrong with it.
What do you mean I can't fry my components? Literally.
Sir, your memory sticks smell like bacon and they're unrecognizable. What do you expect us to do with this? Lick it. Bite it. It's bacon and this is America.
America.
Actually, you shipped to Taiwan. This is not America. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We're going to move on to something that's slightly less depressing. It's not depressing at all. It's the AVA news portion. And I'm going to pretend like an AVA banner comes in the center where we can just kind of sit
See,
here.
we should have got Kyle here for this.
I mean, we can. Can someone tell me if Kyle's on the phone? I'm going to grab him again and make him do AVA news. Unscripted. This is good television.
We'll do it live, yeah. No,
we're doing it live. Get
learning from Bill O'Reilly.
Yes. Don't write it. We'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. He is not.
The amount of times that has been uttered. No. Oh, West does not. A-Dub's dishwasher. Yeah, I'd like to see like the Intel dishwasher. Who knows? I wonder if you can overclocking your dishwasher might be a thing in the future. Don't know why. Oh no, Kyle's running. Kyle is running away from Joe as we speak. Oh my, All right, so while they're going to talk about get the AVA news segment going, we're going to jump a little bit into gaming. There's a couple just kind of neat things I wanted to talk about today. First off is they're selling Black Ops 4 now without zombies. So for those of you who don't know, Black Ops 4 came out, like 2 months ago, and it had 3 major components. The first one being zombies, which is a pretty fully baked game mode, Blackout, and then your standard Call of Duty multiplayer. But what's interesting about this is a lot of people seem to be buying Call of Duty strictly for Blackout, which is the PUBG competitor, and they're now selling it for a $30 price. So it's the multiplayer and Blackout, no zombies, which is kind of interesting. And they're selling that through Battle.net. So I'm curious to see in the future if that means that we're going to have... if we're going to have people start breaking out games like this that have major multiplayer components and actually kind of breaking them out into specific little pieces. You ready to do AVA news, Kyle?
Where are we at on here? He told me to read off the paper.
Where are we at on here?
Yeah.
We're freestyling it, boy.
I don't know. I told him I don't know the news.
Get it together. Wait, you don't know the news?
Well,
can you read?
That.
You're one of our main sales guys. You have to read emails all day, and you're sitting here. It's right in front of you. AVA news. Come on, my boy.
I didn't read those emails.
Do you read any emails?
Some emails.
Some.
Some.
Yeah, like 5%-ish.
Most. Well, you start us off.
Why do I start us off? I've been talking for an hour.
I need to read through here.
Fine. All right. So we have coming up. We have a year-end sale event, which you'll get a lot more info on towards the end of next week.
Joe's bringing the mullet back.
Joe, like with the power play right
news.
below, kind of looks like he's getting ready, like he just won a NASCAR event.
Call me Dale.
Rest in peace, Dale. Number 3, up in heaven. But so yeah, we have another big sale coming up towards the end of next week. So keep your eye out on that. If you guys liked our Cyber Monday sale, more's coming out. And then in other news, what we're bringing out is there is a new Intel gaming bundle that we're going to have, and that's combined with i5 and i7 processors and processor-based devices, which is just notebooks that have i5s and i7s in them. But, Kyle, why don't you tell the nice people about all the stuff they get with the new Intel bundle?
With the Intel bundle, you're going to get, gaming-wise, Dirt 4, Dreadnought, Final Fantasy, what is that, 15? Mm-hmm. Windows Edition, Killing Floor 2, and Stable Orbit. That's a typo. Whoever typed that.
You know, we'll we'll get a teleprompter for you next week.
See,
yeah,
this
we'll
is
do.
why I
Yeah,
shouldn't
we'll
come
we'll
on
have
here
to
for
we'll
this.
powder
I
your
told
nose.
you,
We'll
I'm
have
just
to
like,
get
I
everything
don't
ready.
know what you want.
So Kyle, now how much is that bundle worth?
That bundle is going to be worth $210 worth of software.
Retail. That is very nice.
Yes.
And just
But we cannot take that off the price of your quote if you don't want it.
well, yeah. So the thing with these bundles is they do come with the processors themselves. So it's a kind of you get them both kind of deal. I've been told to give Kyle the stick by our audio guy.
Oh my. I don't want to know. I don't want the stick. Not from Sean.
Give the
I
stick.
didn't realize you had the stick. Thanks for the stick.
That is obscene, Kyle.
I was whacked you in the face with that. That's obscene
Sure,
as well.
You guys are bullies.
You don't know what we do in our free time.
Yeah, come on. After 6 o'clock today, you're not allowed to care.
5 o'clock for you.
Well,
Wow.
yeah.
Anyhow.
Anyway, so in other news, Kyle, how's our sale and everything going?
Our sales are going pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Big turnout for the Cyber Monday week,
putting a lot of our production staff on some mental health care.
and our sales staff.
Well, we've been there.
For about the last year, yeah.
Do AVA PCs come with their own stick?
They can.
They
make that
can. Yeah,
happen.
they can. Actually, we joke, but we do have they're about this long, black AVA branded USB sticks that you can get.
It's a bracelet, more or less.
Okay, look, man, I'm trying to help A-dubs
the
out here. I'm
people what
trying,
they
yeah,
want.
I'm trying
You're
to give
right.
the people what they want. Ruru, everyone on here going to visit HR after the show.
I live with it.
Yeah, you are not wrong, man. That is.
Well, in my defense, I was unprepared for this, so I'm sorry.
I mean, that doesn't. You said some heinous things.
It's nothing new.
See, but at least now you can hold this against him in the future. Like, do it again, you're back on the show.
Yeah,
Is that all it
that's
takes?
going to
No.
be. Visit HR. Oh no, HR will be waiting at the door. Oh.
Great.
Alrighty, guys. Hey, in other news, this is our last stream.
And our last day at AVA.
Yeah, we.
So much for the mental health problems for the sales department. We're all gone.
A-dubs, could I have Joe fart in the case before shipping? Yes, but we have 3 Joes that are involved in the process of almost every one of our systems. We have Joe that you guys know from the stream, our main software loaders, Joe, and actually the guy that manages our production team is also
Great.
named Joe. So
So
you're going to have to
be more
specify
specific here.
which Joe fart you want. Because you can get the beardy one, you can get the tall one, or you can get the skinny one. Those are your 3 options.
I take the beardy one.
I mean, that would...
The Yeti.
The Yeti?
The Yeti one.
The
That's
Yeti.
the better way to put it.
Most
Yeah.
likely. Also, it depends on the case. Like, I mean, if you're doing like a fractal case that has like, a lot of airflow in it, that's not going to do a whole lot of good. But you get a
Get
little
the fanless case.
Yeah, you get a little
That
fanless
one.
passive case.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that'll keep in it.
I feel bad for that poor customer.
And he's
The
asking
fanless
for
one-
it.
I know he is. Anyways, we also have CES coming up.
All 3. Ooh, that is a weird, not a cocktail, fart tail. Is that be the?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to. I don't want no part
Don't
in
want to
that.
find out. Yeah.
I'll stay up in my office for that one. All right. So we also have CES coming up with the
Ooh.
Alpha Cool booth, and I think Zach is heading up that build, and it's looking pretty impressive so far.
Yeah, actually, we got a box of goodies from Alpha Cool a couple days back, and there was some cool stuff in there.
Was there?
Yeah, it was like we were opening it up in the back like it was like Christmas. They had
Yeah.
a couple rads in there for us, and some other
yeah?
some cool
Sure
things.
they'll integrate that in the build.
Hopefully, I mean that's
Hopefully,
what we used to be mostly, or we used to use a lot of EK parts, and I love EK, but we've been doing a lot more with Alpha Cool products lately, and it's been wonderful.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've
I've
been appreciating working with them.
I've been quoting out a lot more Alpha Cool.
Yeah.
A lot.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
They come with a stick. They should also come with a wrist support band.
Stole it from Joe.
Actually, that would be something that would be kind of neat.
It would be,
Then again,
but yeah.
just call me before you go ripping your computer apart, please. Just call and touch base.
Yes.
Like, all right. Welcome to AVADirect, where we talk about ripping one on cases per customer request. Look, man, here at AVA, we pride ourselves on on doing custom things. We will do what you want.
Gotta give the people what they want.
I mean, that's getting a little bit into the gray area of, huh?
I don't think it is.
Is it?
If they want it.
Does that mean that Kyle's the R. Kelly of PC sales?
Yeah, Kyle might be the R. Kelly of PC sales.
Something like that. Yeah. I guess.
I mean, you know who R. Kelly is, right?
Do I know who anyone is?
Get out. Right now.
I've heard you guys talk about it before.
You really don't know R. Kelly?
I feel like I do, but I don't know. I'm stupid.
Sounds like Kyle's trapped in a closet.
Do I know anything that you guys...
I mean...
Let's be
you know
honest
about
here.
PCs, that's
Well,
good
yeah,
enough.
that's about
Yeah,
it.
you know...
According to
Yeah,
Sean,
we do kind of keep Kyle. He
Yeah,
comes in at,
locked in
what,
the
like
office.
8:45? We just lock the door. You're not allowed out until 6.
Yeah, according to you, I sit in my office and yell at myself all day.
I mean, Kyle used to sit next to me, and hearing him just yelling was...
Constant.
It was kind of fun.
No, I talk quieter when I sat next to you. Because I knew you were on the phone, too.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, a little bit.
You tried.
I
And
tried.
failed miserably.
Yeah. When I was in my old office...
Ignition, I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen.
He's a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought so. I just didn't want to sound stupid when I said it. Which
Just-
wouldn't be anything
Just
new.
picture like
but-
a politician named R. Kelly.
Yeah. No,
Actually, then
I could see it.
Robert Kelly or something.
Sure.
All right, fair.
But
We will educate you on pop culture one day.
yeah, I've been here for 2 years.
I know, but like we'll have to teach you about, I don't know, Star Wars,
Never seen it.
Lord of the Rings.
Never seen it. I saw something on Facebook the other day. It's like, I don't watch Star Wars because I like seeing other people's reactions when I tell them I have never seen Star Wars. I feel like that applies to me.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but at the same time, like, dog.
It's just never...
I mean, that's fine.
I've just never...
I mean, you can skip the first two.
Okay. Well, isn't it a weird order? Two?
Yeah, it was 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, see, you're
So
going to have to write that out for me because I'm not going to remember that.
yeah, no, we'll take care of you. We will work on Kyle's education, and for the next
Yeah, we've
time
been
he's on
working on
stream,
that for 2 years, so...
we'll have to. No, we'll give you homework, and we'll have Bart or A-Dubs yell at you if you don't.
No, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You'll
That
have
works.
to. We'll make you take
Bart
a
will jump
BuzzFeed
on
quiz.
live chat and yell at me every day. There we go.
So here, let's hop in a little bit into the gaming news. You want to freestyle that, or you want to go ahead and get back to your
Whatever.
yourself?
I can freestyle it, but you know I don't game very much.
You know what, Kyle? Get back to yourself. Get back to talking to Bart.
Okay. Yeah, because Bart's still waiting on an update.
Get back to rooting for a losing team.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Hey, they're actually doing pretty good, to be fair.
I haven't watched any. Do I owe you a beer still for when the last time the Browns won?
No, I think I owe you.
And don't you forget it.
Thank you, Kyle.
Alrighty.
Thank you for delivering the news via peer pressure.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's fantastic.
He does sales but doesn't play games. Oh, you are damn right, A-Dubs. He is serious.
No, he does play a few games, but they're like weird. Like, I'll be on Steam playing something else. See, like Kyle's playing NBA 2K8.
Yeah.
What? Why?
You don't know Star Wars and you work in tech, or you even homeschooled bro.
Bro, you PC? I have a PC.
Yeah, no, it is befuddling the lack of pop culture things that Kyle knows. It's kind of fun though, because you get to just introduce him to weird things.
Yes. Yes, you do.
You do.
I had a fun time with it. I had a fun time just getting Kyle into a PC when he started personally. He's like, oh, I was wanting one, but never got around to it. We're going to fix that, aren't we?
We got you.
So, speaking of something that should be fixed real quick, people have found source code for apparent loot boxes in Fallout 76.
Because it already didn't suck.
Well, honestly, man, the thing that sucks the most about it is, according to the report, that not only are these loot boxes going to like give you rare loot, but they're actually going to allow you to affect your own personal like stats, like boosted XP, boosted carrying weight, stuff that's like permanent. So at least I hope it's not permanent. If it's like temporary, like, hey, here's a temporary boost to your experience gain, then you're just going to have people buying a boatload of these loot boxes. And then it's like, again, pay to play.
Yeah.
The person that's willing to spend the most amount of money in this game is going to rule all and nuke your base and kidnap your family. All in Fallout 76, of course.
Man, Fallout 76 is just...
Trash?
Man, they're just
like Wesley said?
It's like the Looney Tunes sketch where they're running through like a field and then they just keep stepping on rakes and they come up and smack them in the face repeatedly.
Except
that's what the development of this game feels like.
It's 3 rakes at a time, though, and 1 giant foot.
Yeah, it's just like...
Whoa.
Buggy beta.
Recoup costs from upcoming legal battle with who? By who's suing Bethesda?
Use that stick to beat this dead horse. You're not wrong, man.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It just keeps getting worse. The horse keeps getting deader.
Where is that stick?
Did Kyle stick? Oh, no, he didn't. I was going to say.
I will beat the dead horse. I will use defibrillators to bring that horse back to life just to kill it and beat it some more for the 2nd time in a row. Trust me. But no, so legal battles.
Yeah, that's...
Did Bethesda hire former EA execs?
Yeah.
Actually, they're cousins.
Oh, my.
Class action? No way.
That's...
No way. Oh, this is like career-ending stuff.
Hey, man, it's...
I'm going to read about this real quick because I want to know about it.
I mean, just the fact that it's
class action lawsuit.
Like, I have a question. Does anybody know off the top of their head if EA got a class action put against them for Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Well, so Bethesda, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Bethesda is denying refunds, saying that they're ineligible. But according to a lot of like laws in place for consumer recourse, they broke a bunch by denying it, saying they were ineligible. And a lot of their claims were apparently unsubstantiated. So, wow, how stupid could you be? First, you're going to send out reviewers like high-quality versions of the duffel bags, only to send consumers low-quality versions. And then when people call you out on it, oh, we didn't have the materials. So you knew about it and didn't say anything. Why is that okay? Sorry. It really pisses me off when companies try to pull shade over customers. Like it's like you're going to get away with it. Like you legitimately think that's okay to do. And then moving forward, you think that you're going to be able to sell them services and they're going to keep buying from you? Like...
Yeah, but we'll still buy Fallout 5.
Dude, I'm sorry, but if Outer Worlds does as good as it hopes, like they're never going to.
That's a good point.
Bethesda is never going to be able to do anything with the Fallout IP ever again. It'll be acquired by the original developers, and that's it. Plain and simple.
Most likely. Well, in happier news, Intel and ESL. So ESL is a esports company, I guess is the easiest way to put it.
Up and coming, too.
No, up and coming, yeah, they're growing incredibly, but they are already one of the biggest, if not the biggest.
Are they making billions of billions?
Organizers for esports. So Intel has been working with ESL for a couple years now, and what they did is they are extending their partnership out for another couple years through 2021 with a $100 million agreement. Where this is kind of interesting is we're essentially more and more as time goes on, we're seeing companies investing into esports, and we're seeing that whole kind of market grow. So this is just kind of interesting to see Intel's really going in pretty heavily with it, and they're remaining committed. Some fun facts about ESL, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how large of a company this is. They had 10 events in 2018 that had up to 15,000 people at them a day. They run some multi-million-dollar tournaments all over the world. And also tying in with that, Intel is involved not only with ESL, but with some other esports companies. So they're doing things with NBA 2K, they're doing things with Overwatch. So this was just kind of interesting to me to just see kind of one of your biggest tech companies really commit to supporting the growth of esports for the next like 3 or 4 years.
Could be.
And Ruru makes a good point. AMD will pay for the esports league if Intel and NVIDIA doesn't. I think that's true to an extent. I think Intel probably can throw a lot of weight at it. Which
I don't think they will, though. I don't think they'll have an interest.
Yes,
I did hear about Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. Nobody cares. That's the problem.
They're trying to put a lot of investment into Overwatch and their
Hearthstone
mobile IPs.
Hearthstone too.
You know, like Diablo is now considered a mobile IP.
Yeah.
Still with me, Bart? Hey, pop culture god, I surely am. So Kyle is now the pop culture god. We're going to go ahead and make that his official company signature moving forward. Wow. AMD go give it to you. AMD gonna give it to you.
Well,
Give it to you. What? Gonna give it to you.
What I'm curious with this partnership is because they're putting Intel i5s and i9s and i7s obviously in a lot of builds for esports. I'm curious to see what graphics cards they're going to use. They're going to use NVIDIA. They're going to use AMD. I think it's up in the air between the two of them. Are they going to end up?
Probably AMD.
You think?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Look at what AMD did to the console market, dude. Just decimated. The only win.
Well, and esports aren't the highest. They don't need high-end graphics
And
cards.
that's the point. Like they can roll with that all day, every day. AMD is probably a company that would just give them those cards just so people see that they're all AMD cards in those systems. Market share for AMD at this point is a huge focus for one. For two, on a separate topic, NVIDIA has the only good decision NVIDIA made as far as console wars go was the Switch. And then there was an exploit in the Tegra processor that allowed people to jailbreak it within like 6 months of the console being released. But hey,
do you want to go ahead and do that real quick?
I don't know. I don't know the song's nomenclature well enough to be able to rap his lyrics and have it be identical to the song.
I mean,
I was never a fan of DMX. You can though. Like, I don't know that AMD gonna give it to you, gonna deliver it to you. Like, I don't know
it's
the rest
knock
of
knock, open up the door, 7 nanometers here with the non-stop core clocks and Navi's real.
Yeah, but I don't know how to, like, rap that to the song, though. If I knew the song, I could do it, but...
I don't think we can get the rights that quick.
It's fine.
Activision is just a cash grabber.
Yeah?
Wait,
why
are we back in... Why are we
You're
going
right,
back to
I
Activision?
won't do it. I won't.
Oh, are we talking
gonna
about
wrap
the
it.
Black Ops thing, Bart? With how they're breaking out and they're removing zombies from Black Ops?
Vega cards can run 1440p on 200 hertz with these sports games.
Oh, yeah, no, a lot of my point with that was with esports, you don't need the highest end card to run it at really high specs or really high frame rates or resolutions. I'm curious to see, I wonder if Intel and AMD's partnership with the doing the Radeon integrated graphics on certain Intel CPUs, I wonder if that means that the two companies are going to continue to work together a little bit more, or if that was kind of a one-off.
No, I think it's a situation to where it's like, hey, we pretty much cornered this, so why don't we just shake hands on this and call it a day, is what I feel like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Could you imagine if, like, Intel and AMD, one of the two acquired the other? If there was ever, like, another major CPU manufacturer to surface, could you imagine what the world would be like?
I mean, I imagine they would probably get hit with anti-monopoly things almost immediately if those two companies merged.
That's only if they didn't have a competitor.
If they didn't have a competitor, but I mean, you'd need, ARM or Qualcomm to really massively grow.
Breaking news, the Winter Wonderland event is live. I repeat, the Winter Wonderland sale is live.
Ruru, which multi-billion dollar company isn't just in it?
I didn't mean to say sale.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, no, the event that Joe was talking about was Overwatch, which guess who let us know about that? If you guessed Wes, you'd be correct.
I was going to say Chris.
No, Chris is Destiny.
NVIDIA buys AMD CPU and Intel buys Radeon.
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah. I don't think AMD would be willing to give up their CPU and GPU to different companies. I think they'd pass it off.
Yeah.
That's not making as much money as Hearthstone, and wow. Since Activision came in, they just announced to make decisions purely based on money making grabbing. Well, absolutely they do. That's going to be Bluehole sooner or later.
I mean, well, Activision's not necessarily involved with Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, or WoW, are they?
No.
I thought they were just plugged into Battle.net to
are.
sell Destiny and Black Ops.
And Call of Duty as well. But that's going to change pretty soon here, I would imagine, especially with the Epic Games community launching, or their own version of Steam, essentially. I have a feeling that Activision's going to go that route. Which makes sense, because the problem with...
So you think Activision's going to break back out of Battle.net?
I think so. I think they will. There's Battle.net is kind of a closed-knit community. It's not really for a lot of mainstream gamers, for the most part. It's for people that are like diehard Blizzard fans, or people that are going to focus on that. If it's one thing I've noticed in common with one person that likes Blizzard titles next to the other, is that they tend to stick to Blizzard titles when they're really into it.
When they're really into it, yeah. But I mean, both you and I have Steam and Battle.net accounts.
Yeah, but I also grew up playing a lot of Blizzard games when they were just simple point and clicks.
Well, I did,
But I grew
which
up
is why
playing
I
a lot
bring
of
it up.
other games.
Like
so.
I think the first Blizzard game I ever played was
Blizzard.
probably Diablo 2.
Blizzard.
Tried WoW like once, but that not my thing.
Casey and I tried WoW, and then we tried its competitor Rift, I think is what it was
yeah.
called. Tried Rift. Didn't care for it a whole lot, and I was like, I'm going to go back to playing The Witcher.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
I think it's just for MMOs, it has to be what you like.
Did you say The Witcher sucks?
No, he's saying The Witcher's awesome.
I thought you said The Witcher sucks. I was going to smash my forehead into this microphone and throw myself backwards.
For the first time in my life, I agree with Joe Mundy.
Gee, thanks, Bart. Thank you. That's very nice of you. On that note, I'm sure you would agree that you're probably tired of looking at my face as I am on the screen.
Yep.
So we're going to call it a night, folks. Thanks again for joining us. We will be back next week, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have any ideas about some of the topics that we're going to discuss, feel free to drop us a line. Otherwise, you're going to deal with whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Alrighty, guys. Have a good week.
Bye!